How's it going, guys? Probably a different type of YouTube video, I guess. But as I was writing this document, I kind of wanted to get you guys behind the scenes of what it looks like when we're working on agents. At least what I'm doing to ensure perfection and ensure that they are really good. And how do I work with developers and the instructions I give them, and how do I test agents myself after APIs and functions like checking availability is done. So I'm basically, it's like around 7:50 a.m. It's a Saturday, so good morning everyone. But this is a really big step in my AI agent development because I finally put into words of how I want to test these agents. And I don't know, it's not going to be an interesting video. I'm not going to show any flashy results of an agent that generated 70 jobs like some of the other videos I have, but this is more of a in the trenches view. So I don't know, I just, something in me told me to share this part of my journey because I think it's important. So essentially what this is I don't even know. So I started writing this around 8 p.m. yesterday, and I woke up at 6 to kind of pick this up. I'm almost finished. Um, but let me see. Yeah, so around 5,000 words. But these are essentially instructions that I will give to developers and I will use myself, so that when we fully code and build an agent and build all the functions. So for example, if you have an agent and I'm building an agent for you that's an inbound dispatcher that schedules jobs and it needs to check availability on your dispatching software, or maybe I'm building an AI outbound phone caller for you and it's booking jobs directly into your dispatching software, it's selling people. Then essentially this is the mindset and this is the hard rules of how the scheduling should work, because I hold my AI agents to an extremely high standard. I don't let them mess up. The majority of the companies that sell you these agents, you will see, they don't go to, I feel like at least, they don't go to a level that's necessary, nowhere near necessary, to test and ensure that the agent handles things like dates correctly, that the agent handles availability correctly, that the agent does not say some kind of a nonsense to the customer and lose a job because it didn't understand the difference between tomorrow and the 14th. Just because someone didn't give a date and an exact time and an exact time zone doesn't mean that your agent needs to fail. It needs to have an engine behind. It needs to have a brain that can understand that, for example, next week Tuesday is, whatever that is, the 14th of January or the 14th of February. And if someone says, yeah, anything in late afternoons in a couple of days, it can't be lost. It cannot confuse dates. Like, I dare you to say something like, to your agent, I dare you to say something like, yeah, can we do something in 2 weeks, somewhere around like late afternoon Tuesday? I dare you to check if your agent will get the date correctly, and I dare you to check if your agent will get the time correctly. You know, to these AI phone caller agents, the way that they understand the dates and times is, if a customer gives something like, yeah, let's do 9 a.m. in the Eastern time zone on the 5th of February, 10 a.m., then it's gonna book it in correctly and check availability over your dispatching software correctly. But what if the customer is, God forbid, an actual human? And if they say something like, yeah, can we do something like, I'm really busy this week, but can we do something next weekend? What's your soonest availability next weekend? The agent must be smart enough to calculate those dates, and this is why my agents rarely ever fail. There's always that 0.5% chance that the large language model will mess up. That's just inherent. But compared to humans, it's the margin for error is damn low if you get this done correctly. And this is exactly the purpose of this document. So you see the general rules, and make sure the agent counts the date correctly. The agent must not say time zone names because that's unnatural. Every single time a customer asks for a specific date and time and it is not available, the agent must return two closest possible time window options. So I work a lot with HVAC contractors. I work a lot with home improvement people, and I like to this day I've launched over 400 companies to help for their marketing needs, and actively, like right now, the team I lead of account managers, I talk to at least 100 contractors and every month, and we help them with their marketing needs. And the way that they do it is they have time windows. It's not necessarily that someone could say, oh yeah, do you have 9 a.m. available? And I apologize if I'm speaking a little bit lower because it's still early here. But they have time windows. They can either arrive between, let's imagine, 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Different jobs can take different amounts of time to complete. A change out is different to a maintenance run or a tune-up, So all of these things the AI agent has to take into consideration. And the problem with a lot of agents, and if you buy a cheap agent, what they will do oftentimes, I've noticed, and I bought these agents before. I started building these agents because I never found a company that does them to the excellence that the companies deserve. You cannot afford to lose a customer. You cannot afford for the agent to say something that would put someone off, or say something that will make it sound not like a human. For instance, prime example, if a customer says, can we do tomorrow? Can we book a plumbing repair, an HVAC change out, an electrical fault job tomorrow? What the AI agent will do, and if the functionality of the APIs has been written incorrectly, is going to execute a check availability on the hour, by the hour, that day. What does that do? One, massive delays. Two, if you have any kind of messaging that the AI agent says to kind of fill in the dead air or the silence as the command runs, just like a dispatcher would be checking for availability, and it's just gonna take some time to pull it up. You want your agent to say something like, let me take a look, or let me see, sure, let me take a look. If the functions aren't written correctly, it's going to execute a lot of them, because let's imagine it's a busy day for you. 8 a.m. is not available, 9 a.m. is not available, 10 a.m. you're swamped. You only have a time window open between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Well, guess what? The agent will execute and check every hour and say, you gotta watch for this stuff. You gotta test for this stuff. We're building serious AI agents here, especially for inbound. I'm building the next generation agents that will replace dispatchers or support dispatchers during after hours. You can't let your agent fail if you want to cut costs and save money on, hiring a lot of humans, basically. Like, this stuff, if done well, if achieved to an extremely high standard, will work for you 24/7. It's an asset 24/7. And what I pride myself on is, once you hire me, you're not just hiring the agent, you're hiring me as an asset. I'll be your ultimate powerhouse for anything AI. I want relationships for the next 10 years, not a relationship for the next 30 minutes where I sell you an agent. Even if it's good, it needs monitoring. Even if it's good, the next upgraded software comes out. even if it's good, like I want to be there for you. So with me, you'll never worry ever about the agent messing up, because I will monitor and patch those mistakes up. You'll never worry your AI agent being not of the highest standard in the industry, because my ears and eyes are always on the newest stuff. I'm restlessly researching the newest platforms, the newest large language models. How can I decrease latency, which is the amount of time it takes for an agent to respond? You know, your average latency needs to be around 1,000 milliseconds. That's the natural human response time on average. Do you know the latency of your agent? If you don't, like, this is why we need to at least sit down so I can point you in the right direction. I don't even care if you don't buy. I talk to so many companies that get these agents and get disappointed because they paid some guy on Fiverr $500. The guy literally threw your requirements into ChatGPT. ChatGPT wrote an agent. It just gave it to you. Sounds like a robot. It's slow. It's dumb as hell. Dumb as a bag of nails. Can't even compute the difference between, like the day after today and tomorrow. This is the difference. Like, it's the difference between you spending your hard-earned money between buying a Toyota and a goddamn Lamborghini. I'm sorry, it sounds cheesy or whatever, sounds salesy. I might sound like a salesman here, but it's so true. Just like a person gets no training in sales or no training in being a dispatcher, versus the difference of that same person getting trained by the best dispatchers in the home improvement space. Who do you think is gonna be worth more? Who do you think is gonna make you more? Who do you think is gonna perform better? Genuinely, ask yourself that question. That's the difference between an agent that's just got spat out to you and the difference between an agent that goes through gauntlets, like I'm torturing myself to take my agents through. Like, before you even see an agent that I build you, it runs through at least 37 tests just on checking how well it understands dates and times and your availability. When you receive an agent that has gone through these rigorous tests like that, you can rest assured you have an asset. You can rest assured now you can depend on this thing so that you never miss a job. You never miss a call. And if you're in this industry, especially in home improvement, you know that the people want service now. They want to get an answer now. They don't want to wait for an email or a code back. They want it now. They want it booked in now. If someone calls you at 7 p.m. and if you're not available, they're calling the competitor. They call this agent, it's going to pick up in 2 seconds, 24/7, 365, doesn't take a salary, is never in a bad mood, and is always at the top of its game. Why? Because I take it through these rigorous tests. And that's what you're getting. So, I don't know, something again in my mind thought that I'm going to share this with you. I think there's a lot of confusion and a lot of blurriness in the industry of how things actually should be done. I treat my AI agents pretty much as people. I take them to the same training as I would take a person. It's just that it can handle thousands of calls, is always in a good mood, is trained according to the best industry sales standards. It's trained on thousands of sales conversations of the top performers. And yeah, it never sleeps. So I don't know, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Probably not. If someone is still watching, I salute you, but this is kind of what some of the trenches look like. So thanks for sticking with me on this journey, and It's I've never been more passionate about a project or a career ever in my life, and I'm gonna build the best AI sales performers in the industry. That's what I want to do, and if I fail, I want to die by the sword trying it. Like that's all I think about. I know the potential here, and that's what I'm reaching. So, anyway, not to make this video too long.